Simon says. Simon says, touch your ears. Simon says, rub your head. Simon says, turn around, jump up, you're out. Kids love this game because it gets them active. You can also up the listening factor by saying, Simon says, touch something starting with the letter A. And students have to run around the class and find something that starts with the letter A. Dictogloss is a simple activity to use for advanced learners. The teacher tells an interesting story to the students and they have to memorize it. After that, you put them into groups and they have to retell the story using their own words. After that, you can break them up and make new groups and they have to retell the story in those groups. A good idea is to record yourself when you tell the story the first time to show them the original at the end. This is a fun activity because students practice their listening skills and they learn how to substitute different words and keep the meaning intact. Musical chairs. All the students stand up and you ask them one question. Then you play the audio. As soon as the students hear the answer, they have to sit down. The last one to sit down loses. What they can also do is they can do an activity like walk like a zombie or bounce like a rabbit. And as soon as they hear the answer, they have to stop. This is just a fun thing to keep students busy and also focus on listening. Listen and throw. Split the class into teams and hand each team a different colored paper. Students roll it up into balls, which they will use to answer with. In the front of the class, you put 3 bins, A, B, and C. Then you play the audio, and as soon as the students hear the answer, they have to throw the ball into whichever answer it is. It doesn't matter that they win or lose, they actually do something active, which is great. You can also do a different activity where you have a ball. You ask a question and then you throw it to a student. When they catch it, they have to answer. They ask a question, throw it to a friend, and you send it around the class. That means that the students have to actively listen to the questions and be ready to catch. If you have a really big class, split it into different groups so that students have a better chance of participating. Minimal pairs hold up. Something that is particularly difficult for ESL students is listening to the difference between words that sound the same but might be written a little bit differently. These are words like leave, live, feel, fill, 3, tree, fit, feet. Have a set of cards printed out for all these troublesome words. Divide the class into 2 teams and let them line up. You will say the word and then one student in the front from each team has to quickly find the card and lift it up. You can also make it a little bit more difficult by using the word in a sentence and then they have to search around, pick up the card and show it, and their team gets a point. These days we have access to fantastic books that were written for a younger audience and English learners. Have students listen to an audiobook or a story. Then they have to write a book report, they can do a presentation, or they can give a summary of each chapter. Movie vocabulary. Find a movie clip and watch it for interesting vocabulary that you write down. Then make a list of all these interesting words that you can hand to the students. While they're watching this video clip, they have to check what words they hear. Afterwards, you can discuss it with the students to find the meaning and use it in sentences. Another fun thing you can do is they can reenact some of the scenes from this video clip. Telephone. Create 2 teams and then pick 2 leaders. The rest of the students have to close their ears and you can play music in the background so that they don't listen. Then give each leader a sentence that they have to tell the rest of their team. They tell each person and it goes around and at the end they reveal what the final sentence is. You can also record your sentences before you show it to the students. Crowdsource a monster or picture. So pick 2 students, they go to the front of the class, to the board, and then they have to draw a monster according to what the rest of the class tells them. So you can ask, how many hands does it have? How many eyes? How big is it? Is it tall? Is it short? And then they have to draw the monster according to all the students shouting out their ideas. Or another idea is you get two students, they look away, you draw something on the board, a scene of something happening, take a picture of it with your phone, and then erase it. The two students come in, and then the rest of the class has to direct them what to draw, and then afterwards you can compare it to the original. This is a really fun game and very easy to do in class if you don't know what to do and you've got some time left. Song gap fill. Songs are a great way to engage reluctant learners. So why not use the most recent pop song? Give each student or pair of students the song lyrics with some missing words. Students listen to the song and they have to write in the correct lyric. To make it easier, you can have a box with a list of missing words at the top of the page. Play the song and pause if necessary. The aim is for the students to fill in the missing words. At the end, you go through the song and you see which students have all the words correct, and you can also go over the meaning of these words, step by step. Another important listening skill that students must develop is learning how to understand step-by-step instructions. Hand students a city map and give them instructions how to find a certain place. They can also do it with their friends to find different locations. Or students have to bring a recipe for a meal that they read to a partner, and the partner has to write down step by step what they have to do. They can also repeat it back to the person who read it. 4 corners. If you have your classroom, one of the students is blindfolded and standing in the middle of the class. The other students have to go and stand in one of the 4 corners. This blindfolded student shouts out a number, and all the students in that number are out. If there aren't many students left, you can reduce the number of corners there are. For example, there are only 3 corners left. The students can only stand in one of those 3 corners. You can also make a rule like they can't stand in the same corner, especially for friends who always stand together. This continues until there is only one winner and they become the new leader who picks. This is a really fun game that is easy to play in any classroom. As if you have to be creative and tell the students to mimic what you tell them to do. For example, they should jog in place as if a scary bear is chasing them. Walk as if you are walking through pudding. Jump in place like your popcorn popping. Pop, pop, pop. Reach up and grab balloons out of the air. March in place and play the drums like you're in a marching band. Swim as if you're being chased by sharks. Swim as if you're in a giant pool of yogurt. Shake your body as if you're a wet dog. It will get the students' imagination going. Students can act out these fun activities for 20 seconds. You can even put them into groups and ask them to write their own activities, which you can use in the future.